Hi, so welcome to episode 2 of this podcast, which is now actually got a name. It's called Conversations with Coaches, mainly because we are both coaches. We're going to be chatting, but we're also going to be chatting to a lot of other coaches as well, helping you to understand and get a little bit of an insight in the world of coaching, service-based businesses, growing shit, and whatever else. But this week, we're going to dive in and talk about the main subject anyway, all around patience within business and ensuring that whilst we do want the quick wins, having a strategy and a focus on the long-term play is always going to put you in a position to win. So that's what we're going to talk about and go through a few various different bits. Now, this is a subject I think we mentioned in the last episode, but it is something that I'm like obsessed with, purely because I've been caught in the trap previously of focusing on everything that matters, like now. What can I do now that's going to get me a quick win? That comes from a lot of the time the attitude that I had when I owned the gym. We were in a position where like we just had to make sales, like all of the time. We needed money, we needed cash now. So we were making decisions based off what was going to get us a client there and then, but not necessarily that was going to keep that client or replicate the process to continuously get clients. It was just, what can we do right now? So bad decisions were made, good plans were created, and sometimes we wing things so that they work, but everything was a quick win. Yeah. And we felt entitled to the short term, which meant long term we were constantly changing and chopping things in the business. There was no structure, there was no real sort of solid strategy, because we just lived in the short term, which made the long term suffer. So we'll go through other little things as we kind of chat about it. But for me, the long term side of things, and it's not what a lot of people want to hear, but if we have a plan in place for the long term, the short term wins will come into place anyway. But what are your starting thoughts on that?
Well, firstly, we're from the fitness industry. So when you come into the fitness industry, generally people who become PTs or online coaches, the general path of it is PT first, in a gym, one-to-one. You go into a big commercial gym, paying a shit ton of rent, and you get a few clients under your belt straight away, and they're paying you £30 an hour, and you're kind of living out your pockets. So on your lunch, you'll be going down to the local supermarket, buying your lunch. Before you know it, it's the end of the month, you scramble around for your rent money, you scramble around for pay your bills, and you basically lived out your pocket for a month, and you have no like business acumen whatsoever. Like no one's give you that. Like the PT qualifications, absolutely shocking. They don't cover any sort of finance, they don't cover any, profit and loss, anything like that. And it's not just fitness professionals, that could be any business, plasterers, barbers, everything. Get paid cash in hand, straight in your pockets, off you go. A few pints down the pub, and that's it. You know what I mean? So my big sort of learning curve on this was I was that guy. I was the guy who was getting paid, coming in, doing 3 clients, getting 60, 90 quid in my pocket, and I'd go down the shop and spend half of it straight away. And it'd be like, it's no way to run a business, and all that happens is you end up getting stressed out, you end up getting you end up chasing your tail at the end of the month because you need money to come in. And you're constantly in a state of fucking worry and panic, and you end up in a massive amount of debt. You've got no sort of longevity to your business. Literally, if you quit tomorrow, no one will care. There'll be nothing lasting about it. And I think when you transition into the online sort of space, you have to sort of learn that the hard way, and you quickly find out whether you cut out for it, because at the end of the day, you'll end up with the same problems as you did offline.
I mean, it's one of those things, isn't it? Like in a gym, you can just if you're desperate for cash, you just sprint around speaking to as many people as possible. Online, I mean, you can sort of do that. You can just jump in people's DMs, but again, there's only so long that can be used as your main form of strategy before you've exhausted everyone in the DMs. You've not really done it properly, and everyone's kind of sick of it. Little side note: you mentioned rent in the gyms. What is your thought? I mean, do you have an opinion, or what is your thought process on that gym model, that PT model for gyms in
I have quite a strong thought process on this, because I've been in it and I've suffered as a consequence of it. but I've also been in the other side of it where I've been in a gym which had to make money.
Yeah.
So, from the gym's perspective, they're providing you with a load of equipment, they're providing you with 2, 3, 4,000 members at times. And that's all well and good. Like, you know, if you're paying 500 quid a month for that, that's all well and good if you can get access to all them 4,000 people. But on the gym floor, every single day, when you're, you know, speaking away to people and making conversations and interacting with people, you're seeing the same people every day. Yeah. You're not seeing 4,000 different members the whole time. You're not getting access to the email list. You're not getting access to the member base because of data protection. And it's blind from the gym side because they're not helping the PTs.
Yeah.
You know, it's in their interest for the PTs to make a good living out of that gym, and it's not helping them. So, but that could be down to the PTs as well.
Yeah.
In the sense that they should be learning the business side of it, and they should be learning how to sort of.
There is an element to it where you've got to kind of be the one to go out there and do it.
Yeah.
But for me, because I used to be so against it when I first came out of it, I was so against it, and I thought it was stupid, it was old-fashioned. I
think where PTs get really fucking pissed off with it, and rightly so, is that you're there renting a space to PT. Yeah. You're not there to clean the fucking treadmills. Yeah. You're not there to do a cleaner's job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not there to do that. So if you're coming in doing a 5-hour shift and you're spending 4 hours at cleaning treadmills, that's not your job. Yeah. Like, you're, as a personal trainer, you're not a cleaner. That's
what really used to get me, and that's why I was so against it, because when we worked in the Pure Gym, I remember having a monthly review based upon my cleaning. And I remember saying, I was like, I'm not a cleaner. Like, why are you reviewing my cleaning? Why aren't you reviewing my ability to speak to members and interact and building my business? And that was the thing that used to get me. I used to hate that model. I used to think it was ridiculous. But the more and more I've gone through it and the more kind of business-minded I've become, it's actually a pretty decent setup if you think about it. Like, let's say...
In the most logical form, it's great for new PTs in the sense that they can go in, they've got access to thousands of people, and you could potentially make a client base solid living really, really quick. But I don't know what the percentage numbers are, but it's got to be 1 in every couple of hundred that actually go in there straight away and build 40,000.
When me and Gav we started in that Pure Gym, and we were one of 3 PTs that actually got clients, and very quickly. Like, I remember, we went to Pure Gym, Pure Gym North, I think, like 6 months in. I remember going through a training, and they were like, you know, who here's got clients? And me, Gav and Ian put our hands up, and people from the other club turned around like, you only been open 6 months, how have you got clients? And we were like, we've just spoke to people and everything, and the more clients and the busier we got, the more the manager like put resistance up with us, wanted us to do more and extra things. I remember being asked to go and unclog a toilet, and I was just like, nah.
It would actually make more logical sense for the gym manager to turn around to the high performing PTs and go, we haven't got a sales team, can you do some sales calls for us? So at least then the PT could actually get experience on sales calls for one, actually build some sort of relationship with a potential member before they actually come into the gym. Yeah. So to me it would make more sense to do that than fucking cleaning treadmills, because who goes into a gym, sees someone cleaning a treadmill and goes, oh, I want in for PT?
Yeah, it's not a good look. It's not a good look. And that's the weird thing, like I get there's some extra responsibilities that you maybe should have because of the fact you get to utilise this space. Just because you're paying your money, I don't think you should just be given free rein to do what you want. I like the whole thing with exchanging hours and all that, you know, it's great. But anything to do with like cleaning and all that, it's just, it just becomes much for me. But I do think that the paying rent is a great model because you're getting this super high spec facility to train out of. I think if the clubs or the big corporate put more effort into helping the personal trainers understand and develop the business, they wouldn't have such a high churn rate. They'd probably earn more money from the PTs, and it would be a better business model for everybody. And I also personally think at some point a personal trainer will outgrow that model because of the rise of social media and content, which we're obviously going to get into. I think if you can build a good client base from a commercial gym and then transition that into an independent gym, where you can rent space, where you can do whatever, because of the use of social media, I personally think you would be much better off because you aren't going to have to battle with cleaning responsibilities, doing hours, and you might have to pay a little bit more going to an independent gym, but again, you're going to get a high spec training facility, but you'll be able, I mean, depending on the model, but you'll be able to control what happens and how much you charge and how much you earn and all these kind of things. You aren't going to really have to focus on other trainers and undercutting and all these bad stuff. It's a weird topic. I think it's one of those things that's never going to go away in terms of the conversation of, is the PT model with rent good or bad? Because some people
some people will say, right, you've got all that and that's worth £500 a month, and I'd agree on the surface level of it. Like, it is, but when you're actually in it, it's gyms don't do enough, in my opinion, and people will shoot me down for this, to create massive buy-in for PTs. So what happens is, a new PT will go into, say, a Total Fitness or a Pure Gym or a Everlast or whatever it is, and they'll be like, right, okay, I've got to build a client base. And within 6 months, they've got no business acumen, they've got no sales experience, they've got no social media marketing. All it is literally posting gym selfies every day, which offers little to no value. And what happens is they're automatically thinking, I need to get out of this place, I need to open up my own facility. And if you've accrued none of the skill set of what it takes to actually become a gym owner.
That's literally what me and Gav did. We went through, so we were in the gym, we were doing alright. I got sacked from the gym, and then 24 hours got my job back, which will be a different podcast altogether. And we were like, you know what, sod this. I remember coming over to me, fucking tapping me on the shoulder, chucked a bunch of leaflets in front of me and said, go on then. Like, that's literally what happened. Go leaflet dropping. I was like, I'm on shift. Yeah, you need to go leaflet dropping. I just went to Starbucks. I literally just shoved them all in a bin and went to Starbucks. Did that every single time. And I was like, you know what, sod this. Let's just open up a gym. No idea what to do. Put money down on a credit card, open the thing, and that was that. But everybody wants to be so quick to move into opening a facility or something. It's ridiculous. The amount of times I'm on calls with people to talk to them about online coaching, whatever it is, and they'll be like, yeah, I want to do online coaching. I want to earn 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 grand a month, and then I want to open up my own facility. Every single time I'm like, you don't know. You don't and again, this is probably another podcast because we'll get some gym owners on this. And I think Chris Burgess from Lift the Bar said this once in one of his written posts, was you very quickly learn that you don't open up a gym to earn money. It's purely a passion project. You don't earn money from owning a gym. So why the hell would you want to go from online coaching with low margins to open up a facility, which is just ridiculous when it comes to
You've got to think about it, right? Like, if you want to own a gym, do you want to be a business owner which runs a profitable business that can make you a nice living, or do you just want somewhere to train in and train your clients? Because you might as well just go and rent. Because £500 a month in a Pure Gym's a better deal.
It actually is,
it is literally the best deal.
And that's not anything against people that want to actually genuinely want to own a gym. I just think too many people are too quick, because I was like, I want to own a gym.
If you want to own a gym, own it. But I've been on a bit of a tour of gyms over the past few years. So I've sort of trained everywhere, done powerlifting and all that. And you walk in, and the gym owner is not actually doing a gym owner's job. The gym owner is doing 8 hours a day of PT. And they've got no sales process. They've got no advertising campaign. They're posting, a template off Canva, or they're posting a selfie in the gym every day. And they're panicking, and these gyms are shutting down. Really good fitness professionals are losing loads of money, getting disheartened, and then leaving the industry. It's a massive problem. I don't even know. I don't know the stats on this. Pull if it was UK Active or somewhere to get these stats. But it's got to be years ago. It was a massive win-lose situation, because fitness, loads of people coming in, loads of people leaving within 2 years. Don't know what the stats are now, but
I'm sure not good. But on the basis of gym owners that like to open up, there's some obviously, because I will work with a few gym owners, and what you'll find is the ones that are really successful is where the owner doesn't do barely any sessions, but they have staff in place, so they become a business owner, they become a gym owner rather than a coach, and not a lot of people realise that that's what's actually going to happen, because people just want to be PT forever with a gym.
The analogy I always use is, Gordon Ramsay is a massively successful chef, and he's a great chef, but that doesn't run him the restaurants.
Yeah,
That doesn't manage the restaurant for him.
Yeah.
Like producing a nice food, but to get people through the door, and like the reputation gets people through the door.
Yeah.
It doesn't run you the business. Like,
Yeah, he's not cooking in every one of his gyms.
Yeah.
Every one of his
He's got
restaurants.
chefs there, amazing chefs work for him, who probably no one's ever heard of, but an amazing chef that he knows, an amazing chef that he can trust and rely on. Just like a gym owner would rely on really good PTs and really good coaches.
Yeah. Systems, like everything.
Systems and all the rest of it, yeah. Social media marketing campaigns, all the rest of it. But they're not in the business.
Yeah.
The Golden Ramsay's not going around in every restaurant cooking all the food.
Seasoning.
Salt-based style.
Yeah, but I suppose that can kind of segue us into the original main point, which was around patience and how to create it and how to build it and why it's important. Because things aren't always gonna go to plan first time round. So you need to have a plan and you need to have consistency with it. Like I'm sick of having conversations with people where they've put out a couple of posts and then gone, well, I've done this specific post now where I've asked for 5 people and no one's bitten it. It's like, okay, well, just because it didn't work now doesn't mean that it won't work again in the future. But what was it that what was it that you did, and what was it you think you didn't do, and how can you improve it? Because let's be honest, a lot of the times people will just hop on a course and they'll go, right, okay, well I'll make some content and then I'll put out a post, and it'll be like post 1, here are the benefits of water. The next post, here's how to do strength training and not hit, and then the third one being something else that's ridiculous.
Or the lean protein sources.
Lean protein sources, or the calories in yogurt, and then it's looking for 5 people who want to lose weight and tone up, and wondering why they don't get any response, and it's because the thing we're going to get onto is you've not nurtured your audience whatsoever. There's low-hanging fruit and there's ways to go about it. The best way to go about it is just to strike up conversations, but create content that actually speaks to your audience, understand who it is you're trying to speak to, get your specific content across to them, and then build up over a space of a week or 2 or whatever, but still doesn't guarantee you clients or a client base.
It's a snowball effect, like if you're in that situation, and if you listen to this, you might be in that situation now. I've definitely been there myself, where when you're in that mindset of I've just got to cover this week's rent, or I've just got to cover this bill this month, or I've got 90 quid in my pockets but I can't get to the bank to put it in, and it's just going to go because I spend it. When you're in that mindset, everything becomes stressful and quicker. So you're more sporadic with, I've just got to get some social media out there, I've just got to get a video out there, I've just got to post this shitty bit of content that's not going to help anyone. Your sales calls sound needy because you're trying for it to happen rather than just be relaxed and in a good place. And it has a big, massive snowball effect on everything. Whereas the big mindset shift that I think me and you have had, similar mindset shifts that we've had, is where do we want our business to be in 5 years? What kind of impact do you want it to have? And it all starts to me with asking yourself better questions, not of, oh shit, how can I pay me rent this month? It's, okay, how can I build a nice business so I can have freedom in 10 years time? How can I scale my business so I can help 100 clients more as opposed to 20? Having them sort of questions and putting them sort of actions into place was the number one thing which helped me with my business. I'm doing video at the moment. It's took 6 months to get to a place where I am now, and I'm still in that fucking place where I'm like, I've got to just keep making small steps to build this business up. It's not going to make me a millionaire overnight, but if I keep doing it longer term, I'm going to attract the right clients, better clients, higher paying clients, and ultimately people who actually like and get along with.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Definitely. And I think it's one of those things as well where it's like if we were focusing on the short, like if we were really panicking and focusing on the short term, and this is what a lot of people do, is they just throw out offers left, right and centre. There's no consistency to the message or the offer. So 1 week they'll throw out a free challenge. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, and then they'll throw out a 30-day program, and then they'll throw out a 6-week challenge, and then a one-to-one thing. And your message just gets confused. Your audience just thinks, well, they're selling something all of the time, and you don't get bites to any of it.
No.
And like you say, if you looked at it and said, well, where do I mean, not even 5 years time. For some people, it's hard enough to see where do I want my business to look like in 6 months time. Yeah. Because if you've thrown out random offers, 4 or 5 different offers across the space of 2 or 3 months, in 6 months time, you probably haven't gained that many clients,
Oh yeah.
like at all, because no one knows what it is that you do. They don't know, you've not become known for anything.
No.
Like, if you want to run, if you want to run a free challenge, really think about whether that suits your client avatar, whether it suits the results you can help people get, and whether it makes sense with the client journey.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't, you ain't getting clients off of it,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it isn't going to suit you long term.
This is kind of the big obstacle that I fell into when I was getting into video, and we've talked about this. I've been known locally as the guy who helps women get into shape.
Yeah.
I help women, new parents, postnatal mums, get back into fitness and get into good shape, and I was known for that. And I still help hundreds of people a year, probably get people into amazing shape. So when I was going to video, no one knew that I was doing video. Literally starting with 0 Instagram followers, 0 fucking social media, no one knew that I was into video. And then people come up to me randomly going, "Oh, you've done a few videos, your videos are quite good." I know, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Like, and it takes that, you know, like, I've done this really amazing video for a local gym, amazing promo video. It looked class, like, unbelievable colour schemes, and everything was class about it. It got like less than 100 views on Insta. And I was like, fuck. Now that 10 years ago to me, when I was that person, I would have been like, nah, not working, just stick to me PT. Maybe even like 3 years ago I would have been like that. Now I'm like, no, keep making the right steps, having faith in the process, knowing that I'm doing the right things. Things that I've learned from you, from other mentors, from things that I've learned online, going down YouTube rabbit holes. Like, if you're not in a position where you can afford to do coaching or can afford to get membership, just go on YouTube. You can literally fucking Google anything. You know what I mean? I had all the basic video stuff that I learned was all through fucking just watching YouTube videos. Like,
it's a build, like you say, it's a building block. It's not something that's failed. It's just a building block. Like, if it makes sense, you know that creating those types of videos is what's going to be a major part of your business. You want it to be. So if you did that and got less than 100 views, and it didn't get a client off the back of it, and if you just scrapped that off, then you just took out a huge chunk because it didn't work. One example I'll give is Zahid, on my sales team. He's an online coach himself, has a really, really good business. Now, so there's a big push with like TikTok and Reels and all those kind of things right now. People try and, again, these are conversations that I have with my private clients. They go, "Oh, I did Reels, done them for like 2 weeks now, I've not really made any traction." I'm like, okay, well, here's Zahid, and he's done a training on it as well. He spent 6 months on TikTok, just consistently getting 2 to 3 videos out per day, going live every single day. When he had the feature, he went live every single day. He didn't get his first client until about 6 months in, and now he's got a shit ton of clients. He makes sales every single week from that. So if he'd have given up within that 6 month period, he would never have the business he has now. And I'm talking, I'm almost certain he has over 40 clients that pay him way over £200 a month. So if he'd have given up and didn't focus on the long term, he knew it was going to be a strategy that would work for him. If he'd have given up on 5 months and 1 week, he would have never, ever got to that point where he's building clients. So it infuriates me when people say, "I've tried that for a bit, but it didn't really work." Well, no, it didn't work because you stopped. You just stopped doing it. That's why it didn't work. If you look at, in the fitness industry and any other business, any other industry, but let's look at the fitness industry. If you look at any of the biggest and best coaches in the industry, and you ask them, what was it that helped them to get the success that they have today, they'll tell you that they just simply posted content every day for the last 10 years. Every single day.
100%.
That's why they're in a position now they can charge what they charge, and they have the client base that they have and the influence that they have, the audience that they have, because they've nurtured it over that period of time. Now, just because you've decided to open up an Instagram account and start, I coach, busy mums or whatever, just because you started creating content in 2 or 3 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks, 6 or 7, 12 weeks in, 6 months in, just because you haven't got the client base yet, doesn't, just because you've been creating that content doesn't mean you're entitled to the big successes that the big coaches have. If you aren't prepared to put that consistency in, especially in an online business, you aren't cut out for it.
100%. We've talked about this so many times. I was in that position as well when the pandemic happened. I had to go online.
Yeah.
Like, my business had to go online, otherwise I just wouldn't have made any money. Like, so I knew I was going to get into video, and I was online coaching, started it all, got quite busy quite quick with online fat loss coaching.
Yeah.
And I made the decision that I knew at some point in the near future, whether it be a year, 2 years, whatever, that I was going to get into video, and that was going to be a long-term thing, and I knew that. And what I'd done at the start of the pandemic was I made a conscious decision. I was going to post twice a day,
Yeah.
one photo or carousel and one video every single day,
Regardless of likes.
whatever.
Yeah.
And what happened was I was posting and posting and posting, and I was probably one of them annoying people who just always on your feed, always at the top of your stories list, always on everything. But I didn't care, and I got a massive amount of unfollows, which again is a separate discussion because people can get disheartened by people unfollowing them.
Yeah.
But my idea was, and my thought process was, everyone who unfollows me is never going to buy from me, ever.
Yeah.
So what you'd end up with after 6, 12, 18 months, which I'm at now, is a client base and a following on social media, and everyone who's unfollowed you over that time is never going to buy from you. You filtered them out. It's good, that's a good thing. So what you're left with is 500, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 followers, whatever number you've got,
Yeah.
of highly engaged people in your thing. But you don't do that in like a week or 2 weeks. That's done over 18 month, 2 year, 3 year period.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you look at, like you said, all the most successful people, they've been doing it for fucking years. And it's going to get to a point where if you're not doing that, you're not an online coach.
No, you're not cut out for it.
No, it's not even that. It's like, if you're not doing it, you're not an online coach.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know, it's so important and so powerful. Like, even now, I'm putting out one reel a day. I'm doing this little bit of a challenge with myself. I'm doing 30 reels in 30 days. I'm just going to see what the sort of numbers what the numbers are like and what sort of growth I have over that period. And it's like, even one a day, I'm like, it's not enough. It's not it's all like, and that's literally to the point where it's getting to. It's like my engagement actually is like pretty steady. Like, if I'm getting maybe one follower a day, that's alright. It's fair. 30 days.
Yeah.
Like, but is it enough? Like, you know, you see people doing 2 a day, 3 a day, 4 a day. Alright, fair enough. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think I've got the sort of creative willpower to do 4 a day.
I couldn't do that.
No, but this is where, obviously we'll speak about this in another conversation again, but content repurposing, like having a vault of content there ready for you to go. So if you're burnt out mentally and you just hit a day where you're like, you need to take the day off and I've got nothing to post, you've got a load of repurposed stuff there that you can just use that's highly relatable every day.
Yeah.
And it keeps you going. It absolutely keeps you going.
But look at it as look at it this way as well. Like, in terms of the following growth and all those kind of things, etc., etc. Like, if we're talking short term and long term, like, look at the buying behaviours of people as well. Like, you've got to cater for everybody in their journey of like following you. You've got people who will buy straight away. I'm someone. It doesn't take me much to go, you know what, I'm in. I'll buy.
Yeah.
Like, I can follow someone and a day later I can purchase something from them because I'll consume whatever they're talking about quite quickly, and I'll move. But then you've got other people where it can take them a couple of weeks of them consuming your stuff, then you say something that hits them nail on the head and they buy. And then you've got some people that won't do anything for 6 to 12 months. Yeah. You've got to ensure that you're catering for these people. How many times, anyone listening, in your business have you come across a brand new client that said, I've been following you for ages, but I just thought now was the best time?
Yeah.
So think about how many people are going to be like that within your audience. If you grow 1,000 followers in the period of a year, I mean, you need less than 10% of them. You need 5% to have a fully stacked out business.
Yeah.
So if you can cater to like put 5% of the hyper buyers straight away, sweet. But if you can nurture the rest of them with your content, continuous consistency with content, you will fully book your business out in whatever time period you allow yourself to just continue to work on.
Couldn't be more.
I will buy off you inside of 24 hours.
Yeah.
My girlfriend Amy is someone who takes a long time. She ain't purchasing off you straight away.
Yeah.
she needs a long time to build up to a point where she's like, I trust this person, I like what they do, I'm into what they're saying, this will solve the problem, I'll inquire. Do you know what I mean? Whereas I'm impulse, I'll buy.
Yeah.
You don't want a business filled with impulse buyers because they've bought off impulse.
Yeah.
And I know I'm that type of person. Before I've bought something and I've had buyer's remorse straight away.
Yeah, easy come, easy go.
You genuinely, more than likely, want people that have followed you for a while and have decided this person is great, I want them to solve my problem.
Yeah.
You don't want a business filled with me, like impulse purchases.
Yeah.
You just don't, because you'll get more refunds, more people that back out. So yeah, by all means, take the quick wins, but like do the sort of 80-20 split.
Yeah.
20% of the quick winners and 80% the better quality, long serving, long consuming audience members. That's what I'd say.
And like, it's like what we talk about all the time. It's like speak to a very specific person, a very specific problem, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And there's other people out there that are targeting us.
Yeah.
And it, you know, I'm fully aware that I've got some stuff that I need solving. I've got some stuff in my business. I've got some stuff in my life that I need help with. So if that person is in a position where they're going, you're the person I really want to help, why wouldn't I buy off them?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're not trying to scam me. They're not fucking, you know, holding something in front of me going, fucking come and get it, come and get it.
Yeah.
You know, like I want the help. I'll happily pay for something, like you said, that's valuable to me, that can make my life easier. We spoke about this last week. Speak about it in depth again. But it's one of them. Yeah, some things you'll buy from impulse and you go, that was a bit shit, whatever.
Yeah.
And then other things you go, fuck, you know, that was amazing. This guy, I don't really know this guy, but that was amazing. I've got so much value out of that, I'm going to buy again.
Yeah,
definitely. I'm going to buy again. And what you end up with is people going from an impulse buy to lifetime fucking customers.
Yeah.
Which is fucking the best thing.
Yeah.
You're never going to leave then.
I think it's one.
What is it? That whole thing. It's like, what is it? The thousand fans? Is it? But it's like, it's like if you have 1,000, if you get to a point where you have 1,000 lifelong loyal customers, you're done. That's your business.
Something like that.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like 1,000. I'm sure it's like 1,000 customers or 1,000 fans.
Yeah, you think about it.
So you know, if you start a YouTube channel or you start a fantastic TikTok, and you got 1,000, like you got 100,000, but you got 1,000 of them. That no matter what you put out, so no matter what you offer in the future, you know they'll buy off you.
Yeah.
And if you're putting out, you know, an ebook for 40 quid or a course for 200 quid or coaching for 500 quid, then you know that 1,000 people will buy off you.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't you don't need 1,000 customers in your business to fucking make a really good business. You probably need 10.
Online coaches or fitness businesses or whatever, usually, like if you're talking about gyms, depending on your price point, 100 to 200 members usually puts them in a position where they're doing quite well and they can open up bigger locations. Yeah. In-person PTs, you could do anything from, depending on your price point, 10 to 30 clients in a gym is probably bang on. Online, again, depending on your price point and your system, you don't need 100 people. I mean, if you can serve them, they're cool. But you could do it with 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 people max. If you end up with a solid audience of 1,000 people, and people do get fixed on the numbers, and it is cool to have, you know, a bigger following and everything else. But if you can grow an audience of 1,000 people that genuinely like what you do, are genuinely consumed by what you create, you're always going to be in a good position.
This is like buying followers is fucking absolutely retarded.
I don't even think that's a thing anymore.
Do you know what? Like, I started my video Instagram page, and I think I've got like 130 odd followers now. 130.
Yeah.
But of the 130, I've grew that 130 in like 3 months, which is like, let's say 40 followers a month.
Yeah.
But I know everyone who's followed me is because I'm putting out high quality content which speaks to that person. There's no one on my follow list that is not engaged with me.
Yeah.
There might be like one person who's the odd person who just followed me because they want another follower and a follower.
Yeah, random one. Yeah.
But 90% of that following base. So I'd rather that. I'd rather have the 130 odd followers than have 1,000 that are totally disengaged and don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the following, you know, I know coaches that have got, you know, massive followings, 10, 20,000 people for whatever it is. But I know coaches are just as busy with 300 followers.
I spoke to, right, I'm not going to name names, but I spoke to a coach on the phone before, had 165,000 followers on Instagram and was earning less than £1,000.
Yeah, that is shocking. How is that even possible?
I feel as though if I had 165,000 followers, I could retire incredibly early.
You're within a month.
But yeah, no, it's a weird one. But like to kind of summarise and to go over some final points, like if you're an online coach, or if you're a personal trainer, or you're a gym owner, or whatever, and you're in a position where you're struggling with the patient side of things, like you feel as though you've put things out there and they've not worked, you need to start thinking about that long-term strategy. Like you said before, what do you want your business to look like in 5 years' time? Think about that, but think about where you want it to be and what you want it to look like in 6 months to 12 months' time. Work backwards and break it down. It's all going to come down to having a proper content strategy, being consistent with it, understanding your offers, who you're trying to sell to, and make it as easy as possible for those people to do it, and just be entertaining. You don't have to have a huge personality, but think about what every single other personal trainer is posting about. How can you take some ideas and put your own spin on it? But how can you stand out a little bit? How can you stand away and stand out from the people sharing, just yogurt comparisons or lean protein snacks and recipes? Like, stand out from them and be consistent. I don't want to hear ever again a conversation from a coach telling me that they've tried XYZ for a couple of weeks and it didn't work. Because right away for me, that kind of says that you aren't cut out for this long term. I'm thinking, where the hell is your business going to be in 6 to 12 months' time? Probably exactly in the same place. You need to think differently, you need to act differently, and be consistent. Put yourself in a position to be one of those people that goes, you know what, I've posted consistently for the past 10 years. This is why I'm here. That's what I want. That's what I want to see.
I think for me to finish, it's like, don't get too high on the highs, don't get too low on the lows. Like, you will have times where it goes quiet for a few weeks, or you have times where you make 10 sales a week, you're like, fuck hell, I'm set here, it's going to be going on forever, and then 3 weeks later you're in the drought again, you're like, shit. Business is not linear. It will have waves of being good or bad, and it will test your stress levels. But as long as you can keep that sort of delayed, again, a bit of a cliche word, delayed gratification of where do I want business to be, why am I doing this in the first place, what is the depth of impact I want to have in this industry with the people I want to help, how much money do I want to make out of it, how much freedom do I want in my business, do I want to be able to spin a globe and stop it on any country and be able to go there at any point and run the business. I want that freedom. That will drive you on the days when, fucking hell, that sales call didn't go very well. Or fucking hell, I spent 3 days on that piece of content and got 2 views and I've been there. Like, I made this really informative. This video, people would pay for this video and put it on Instagram. This is going to be a banger, and it gets 4 views.
It's nothing.
Shit.
Definitely.
But the big takeaway from that is delay gratification. Stop thinking short term. Stop living out your pockets, because you will absolutely pay the price for it. Literally.
Absolutely. So stay consistent. What was I going to say then? I was going to say something and it was going to be class, and now I've just forgotten about it. Stay the course, stay consistent. This has been Conversations with Coaches. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, leave a little review, let us know what you think. Go and follow us on Instagram, Stu_FitProSales, St_HD Creative. If you're watching it on YouTube, what do you do? Subscribe.
Subscribe.
Even leave us a comment, let us know that you've seen it from here. That would be pretty cool, because we'll know where the audience is and how to create more stuff for it. But join us on the next episode, and we'll see you then.
Perfect.
Toodaloo.